to take someone that's been through so much and abuse them and ignore them and ignore them and ignore them. There's a special spot in hell, government, for you. I cannot wait.
Well, folks, here we go. We're going to be talking about the female Daniel Larson, Tammy Hull, once again. It's been quite a little bit since we last looked at Tammy Hull, but she's mostly up to the same old, same old. She's sitting there screaming about the government and talking about her family life, her past life, giving everybody little bits of her lore. But most recently, she sort of had a resurgence as far as like people going to her page, messing with her. There's just been an influx of individuals trying to troll Tammy Hull, and it seems to be working quite well for them because she's pretty easy to aggravate. You kind of just got to go on there and start talking about how she's wrong and you're right, and next thing you know, she'll start flipping out on you. So in today's video, I wanted to do a couple things. One of those things is take a look at Tammy Hull's new TikToks, at least some of the ones that I found interesting. In particular, this one where she rants about how, she bit her mom's nose after getting drunk. Basically, it seemed like what she did was she was getting drunk and her son was calling her out for this. She told her son to shut up. She probably told him more than that, but in the story, she says she told him to shut up. And then he went to the grandma. Long story short, she bit her nose. It's pretty wild, y'all. So I just wanted to open up with that. But besides that, I also wanted to talk about this recent live stream that Tammy Hull did. She did a live stream earlier today where she talked about how somebody paid for a hotel room for her or a motel room for her, whatever, right? And then a couple hours later, she posts about how it was all a lie and how she got trolled, and she starts screaming about it, and she just goes off on everybody during this live stream. It's pretty wild. She got like Daniel Larson level trolled where they told her there was a hotel room and there was no hotel room. She started freaking out about it. She claims that she didn't go to this place or that she didn't waste any gas money. Who knows? It's probably true. I think that this person underestimated Tammy Hull. I really don't think she's that gullible. I think she just gets like really angry, and sure, she gets worked up, but I don't think you're going to be able to trick her into some shit like that, right? She's smart enough to call ahead and see if it's actually paid for, which is what she did. She also was going off about how she doesn't believe in Christmas, and she was giving off like a real Grinch vibe, It's almost like how Tammy Hull stole Christmas, you know what I mean? It's really weird the way that her facial features mimic that of the Grinch, and she's also talking about how she hates Christmas and doesn't believe in it. It almost works perfect. She should just cosplay as the Grinch. Imagine how much money Tammy would make if she did like a Daniel Larson travel arc where she went to Hollywood Boulevard and just started cosplaying as the Grinch for money, taking pictures with people. Shit, she can even go to New York Times Square and do that too. Paint her face green, she already has the vibe. She basically just has to be herself, and she can be making a bunch of money. She doesn't even have to live in her car anymore. Her family would accept her. Nobody would be quote unquote jealous of her anymore, as she likes to state. You know what I mean? Everybody would love Tammy if she just became her true self, which is the Grinch. But enough with all that. I'm sure you guys get the idea already. Let's get into these TikToks. So it's about like 3 or 4 TikToks where she references the situation with her mom. In one, she kind of gives like a very vague story, and in the next, she goes really in depth with it, and she starts talking about all the specific things that happen within the fight, but obviously she's still leaving some parts out, glossing over certain things, right? Just sounds like she was being a bad mother, and the grandma confronted her, and then she physically assaulted her for that.
Well, I'd like to clear the air on this story that's circulating around about that I bit my mother's nose. Yes, I did. Yeah. She came up to my yard. I was drunk on old Charter. She bounced out of her truck and said, "I heard you're gonna whip my ass." Well, I got her down on the ground and I went to punch her, and even drunk on old Charter, I couldn't punch her. So I bit her nose. This has been years ago. What are they even fucking talking about that for? She deserved it. She called the cops on me. I went to jail for 45 days. Okay, story ended. That's been years ago. But this is the shit they're dragging up. Are you kidding me? Lord help me, Jesus. I don't care how they smear my name. Smear it away, family. You sickos. Smear it. Okay, the full story of me biting my mom's nose. I'm drunk on old Charter. my son does something, and I told him, shut up. He said he's going to tell his grandma. I said, I'd whip you and your grandma's ass. I had no idea he was going to go down to her house. He really ran down to her house. She comes back up the hill, gets out of her truck, and said, I heard you're going to whip my ass. I'm drunk, whiskey drunk. I grabbed her by her bun and just shook her. I had sworn my whole life I would shake that bun. You can't hide behind the bun. An evil woman's an evil woman. I shook her by her bun, and we wrestled around, and I instead of hitting her, I bit her nose. Okay. And I went to jail for 45 days. So, and this was, Lord help, a long time ago. You know, we're talking 17 years ago. So why they're dragging shit up like that? And I can't imagine, because they always told me, they said, if I start acting like her, tell us. I told them, and they don't talk to me no more. Well, if you can't handle the truth, don't fucking tell me to tell it to you. But I love them. I love my family, man. It's sad to see them talking about me like that. Had no idea. Fucking pathetic. That's embarrassing. I mean, look at Devin. She looks a lot like me. You know, she used to be my little sidekick, you know, just like my daughter. You know, now it's just like, just lied through her teeth, you know. Jealousy's stupid. I mean, these cops, you know, really waste a lot of time, because one just pulled through here with his lights flashing from all the way up there, flashing all the way around and doing nothing. Flashed right on out of here. Bye, Disco Ball. Disco Danny Water Faucet. My last video was just because somebody in the comments said nobody was talking about it. Well, there's the proof. Somebody's been talking about it. Shallow. I'll tell my own stories. I got shitloads of stories, and I'm not ashamed of it all. It's part of me. You know, I can't help it. I was born with a attitude. So, I think I've done well throughout my life. Never took a life. Never thought about taking a life. Well, I take that back. Scratch that last comment. It's not 1,000% correct, so it's a little on the gray area. And we don't use gray areas. No. So we like to make a complete fact. Something this government needs to learn to do. Learn your fucking facts. Fucktards. Okay.
It's really hard to have any kind of sympathy for Tammy based on the stories that she's told so far. It just seems like she was a bad mother, and there's a reason why her family abandoned her. I don't think it had anything to do with jealousy. It sounded like she just treated them like shit and was an alcoholic, so they decided to cut her off out of their life when they turned old enough to do so. I just really don't get why she says that. I don't know who she's fooling with this whole jealousy argument, because it's like, yeah, these people that are living fulfilling lives and actually were able to escape you are the ones that are jealous, not you, the one who's living in their car, you know, angry all the time and paranoid. You know what I mean? It's not you. You literally tell people how sad you are all the time when you're on TikTok. You just start randomly crying about how depressed you are. But yet they're the ones that are jealous of you. I just really don't get this argument. I don't know who in their right mind would be jealous of the situation you're in. I mean, I don't know if I'd wish this shit on my worst enemy. It seems like you're a very isolated person. Nobody has any reason to be jealous of you. To me, it sounds like Tammy's family is finally coming forward and speaking up. If somebody just randomly talked about this occurrence that happened that was very specific, it sounds like it was likely one of her family members, considering this whole jealousy angle she also goes for. So what I'm thinking is that somebody either made a TikTok video or a TikTok comment about her, and by somebody I mean one of her kids or somebody close to her. I mean, this shit just goes to show how bad of a relationship she had with her family, not only her own kids, but her own mother. There's a reason why your family wanted to distance themselves from you. You make it very obvious when you talk about your past that you had a lot of issues, and now you blame everybody else and act like it's jealousy and, you know, people are just doing the devil's work or whatever, when in reality, to them, you personify the devil. I mean, to everybody else too, you kind of give like this demonoid presence, right? Where you're yelling, you're screaming, you're baring your teeth, you're making these weird noises, right? You give off this sort of Kenneth Copeland vibe where you try to make this angle that you're God-fearing and you love Jesus Christ, when it doesn't come off that way. Like, you don't come off as somebody who likes Jesus or likes the Bible. You come off as somebody who like has an evil presence, right? You have this sort of evil aura where you're doing this witch-like cackle and you're always talking shit about people. You're always saying how you're gonna spite people. Like, I don't know if this shit was in one of these specific live streams that I'm about to show y'all, but there was one point in one of these live streams where she was talking about how if she was in charge, things would be different and the people that did the bad shit would be punished. Like, they'd face retribution, right? Like, they'd face her wrath. And when she says bad people, in her mind, bad people are just like, random government officials, right? It's just these random people that truly have no control. And it's like, you can say that the government is bad, right? Like, the government itself is bad, but there's individual people that work in these cities that Tammy is harassing and claiming are the government, when in reality, they're just workers, you know what I mean? They just work at these municipal centers. And that's a lot of the arguments that I see from people. They're always like defending Tammy by saying, well, of course she hates the government. Who wouldn't? But you have to realize she isn't going after like these big people in the government. When she says the government, she means everybody who works for the government, including just randos, you know what I mean? There's a lot of nuances to this. Tammy hates Jasper County. She hates Jasper County PD. She hates the people that work there. And there's also a lot of just, like I said, random municipal workers that she seems to hate, or random police officers, right? That's the government to her. But most recently, she hasn't been talking too much about the government. Most recently, she's been going after her trolls. Basically, like I mentioned at the beginning, somebody had told her that they were going to get her a motel room. She called in. She asked if the reservation was paid for. They said no. And in turn, she ended up freaking out. So first, we're going to see the live stream where this person calls her and tells her that they got a room for her. And at first, she's very hesitant. She's cussing them out. And then you'll see in the middle of the live stream, she seems to get some kind of call. And then the live stream cuts, because when a YouTube live stream renders, it doesn't render with the buffering. When a live stream buffers, it just completely cuts that out. So it's just a hard cut. And then you see her very happy and she's like, I doubted you. I'm sorry I doubted you. And then you see the next live stream where she's very disappointed because she called that hotel and it turns out it was all a troll.
Oh, God. Oh man, I don't know what's, man, I got a bad headache. Like a bad headache. It's like, man. I can't handle it. Oh, fuck. Don't even. Don't. Stop. Stop. Stop with your diva shit. Why don't you stop with your fucking diva shit? I'll stop it for you. Jealous. The people saying diva and shit, you're jealous. Is all you are, and it's tart and nasty. Oh man, my head. I think it's funny because I don't think that lady was even getting me a room. I think it was a way to try to get me to drive somewhere, which I would have called to make sure before I took off. So I would have played their games. Oh, shut up. Shut up. You got it? I don't want to go because I don't like being harassed. Just a second. Just a second. What? Just be careful when you go in there. I'll call them and see. In my name, they won't let me stay in your name. So see, that wouldn't work anyways. But that's why I said I wasn't going, because I'm Thank you. All right, let me call him real quick. I feel bad I didn't believe you. I mean, this shit with Devin just really has me thrown off. Because I know they know a lot of people. You know, I don't get it. But most people that know me, that knew him, knows I'm not a bad person. And I don't understand why they're smearing my name so bad. It's evil. It's evil. It makes me so fucking mad at him. I mean, because he's the one that dragged my family into it. They're sick fuckers. Or they may have been the ones that drug him into it. I don't even know now. You know, if my family's been doing this shit all along, you know what I mean? It blows my mind. But I know some of the things they've done, and they are in some severe trouble. Yeah, severe trouble. Disgusting people. It makes me mad. My head's pounding. I got a room, Reagan. What's your name? What's your name? Delana? Is that how you say it? Delana? Yes, yes, thank you so fucking much.
All right, so if you haven't watched much Tammy Hull content, you're probably wondering to yourself why somebody would do this to her. Why would somebody troll her, act like they bought a motel room for her, you know, try to get her to go to that motel room, and then actually not really pay for it, just set up a reservation and get her to pay for it? You might be wondering, why would somebody do that? Well, Tammy Hull begs a lot, and people on the internet don't like it when you beg. Like, she's an avid e-beggar. I showed it in my last video. I'll leave a card here if you want to watch it. But what she does is she'll just, you know, pull up a TikTok live or make a TikTok video where she's sitting there using her and her dog to kind of, you know, gain sympathy from people, saying that she needs money for gas, she needs money for a place to stay, she needs money for dog food, this, that, and the other, right? And instead of getting a job or trying to better her life, she begs on the internet, which people don't usually find admirable. If you do that, people are gonna, you know, dislike you, and they're gonna try to mess with you and get you to pay for your own stuff. And it's not only this. You heard how she treated her family. She'll admit herself that she treated her family like shit, but in the same breath, she'll wonder why they don't want to talk to her and why they abandoned her. She'll act like they don't have the right to do so, like they should have stuck by her even though she was a shitty person and continues to be one. I mean, to her, this all boils down to jealousy. Fuck taking accountability, fuck becoming a changed person. It's all about blaming it on the other people. They're all jealous of you, that's why they don't want you around, right? It's not how volatile you are, it's not how hateful you come across, you know? It has to be that they're jealous of you, or that they don't truly believe in God, or, you know, the devil's besides them, something crazy, right? You have to make up these weird assumptions that there's some external reason that your family dislikes you, when in reality, it's all your own actions. So those are the main reasons why people dislike Tammy. So it's not for no reason, you know what I mean? She's definitely not the most horrible lolcow, but she's not a good person. She's definitely a bad person, and there's a reason why people dislike her. And I feel like the next clip will speak volumes towards that sentiment, because it truly shows how hateful she is, not only to these people who troll her, but also random people that just come up in her chat and ask her questions. These people can be innocently asking her what's wrong, and she'll freak out and start screaming and being like, "What do you mean what's wrong? What are you talking about?" Like, you know, she starts getting like very aggressive when somebody's just asking a simple question. She expects them to know like her whole lore and what's going on. You know, there's poisonous plants and people are eating the plants, and she's trying to save everybody. You know, this live stream opens up with her talking about how her son's in the hospital for a car crash. And she goes on to say she can't go visit him or go see him or worry about him because she has to warn people about the plants. No, you don't, Tammy. You can go spend time with your family. I promise you, you don't need to tell the 50 people in your live stream about the hemlock that you've been complaining about for like 2 years straight. I think everybody who's already seen it has seen it, and there's no more spreading the word on that. Nothing has happened so far with the whole hemlock situation. So I really don't know why she keeps like pushing this narrative where it's like there's poisonous plants. It just doesn't even make sense. There's like real shit in the environment that she can be talking about that are direct issues at this moment. The hemlock isn't an issue to anybody who's not eating the hemlock. It just doesn't even make sense. I mean, hemlock does have the potential to get into groundwater and become poisonous, but that shit is dealt with. You know, all those municipal centers that you go to and scream at all the time. Those are the people that usually deal with those issues. If there was a huge outbreak of hemlock poisoning, we would for sure know. There's specific symptoms. People would just be dropping dead and everybody would be wondering why, and that's not happening. When people die, people usually know the reason why. They don't just say, well, I don't know, he just kind of passed away. Unless they're like hella old, you know what I mean? And then it's like natural causes. But even then, there's a specific reason why. So in the next clip, you'll see her go on about all that. She's talking about how her son is in the hospital, how she has to warn everybody about hemlock. Then she starts freaking out on everybody, and it's like there's an obvious reason why she's so angry. I mean, Tammy is usually angry, but you'll see in this live stream that she's very fucking angry, and it's because that person trolled her. And she tries to claim that they didn't get her to go anywhere, but in the previous live stream, she seemed like she was ready to go. Like, she seemed very happy, and there was this at least like hour space between the two live streams. So she might have started traveling and then just wanted to make this live stream to come across as though the troll didn't really get her. I don't know. It's Tammy Hull. You can't really say either way.
My son had a wreck. I don't know. I ain't got to talk to him. I don't know. Now, if everybody would just pray for me, because I'm very fucking mad right now. I'm very fucking mad. Okay, I'm very fucking mad. Me and my family and me don't deserve this shit. We don't deserve this. You know, I should be able to go check on my son, but instead I'm trying to fucking tell the world about dangerous shit, and instead of listening to me, they're listening to some numbnut motherfucker that's making shit the fuck up, that is dying from it, and I can't wait for his dumbass to explode. I cannot wait for him to explode. He deserves it. Yeah, I do too, but I know these motherfuckers and their witchcraft shit is gonna stop. Dawn, they're gonna find him blown up in his field because he's gonna blow up from what's in his gut. He should have went to the doctor. He should go to the doctor. Because any tree that these things are in, they blow the tree apart. So I'm saying if it's inside a human, it's going to blow the human apart just like it did a tree, right? That's what happens. So that's what's going to happen to Don and all his fucking little bullshit that he's doing. I should have done been heard. I should be able to go check on my son. Instead, I'm too fucking far away and I'm a pissed off motherfucker about it. So fuck you, FBI agents. Fuck you, goddamn police officers. Fuck you! Sick of them. Sick to fucking death of it. I've had it. These deadbeat motherfuckers, and then they all say, oh, why did Kamala and Obama or Biden have to run back to the White House at midnight? Lock these motherfuckers up. God's gonna come and lock them up. God, they're all running rampant. They're all fucking crazy right now because they know they've done so much shit. They know it. Shut the fuck up, you fucking flake. Get the fuck off my live, you fucking flake. You sack of shit. God's coming. Oh, I know. Come on, nighttime. I'm ready to go back to sleep. Yeah. Motherfuckers are pissing me off. Bad. I know my son needs his mama.
It's crazy how Tammy will be dealing with these personal things that she knows damn well nobody else has control over, right? Nobody but herself has control over her relationship with her kids. That was her mistake to deal with. There's nobody that's in their ear. There's nobody that's telling them shit. If they dislike you, they're adults. They're just not going to talk to you. Same goes with anybody else in your family. If you've ever fucked them over, they're not going to talk to you because you're a bad person. They don't have to talk to you. They aren't required to talk to you just because you fucked up your life and you want people to provide you with things, right? Or you want people to baby you. Nobody has to do that. They can just let you, go on your own and deal with your own shit without fucking up their life as well. Tammy kind of jumps around throughout this whole live stream. At first, she's talking about how her son's in the hospital, and then she starts screaming, flake, you're a flake, flake this, flake that. She's talking about the person who said that they were going to buy a motel room for her and then ended up, I guess, not going through with it. She goes into it later on for some reason. I don't know why she didn't decide to just go into it at that moment, but she just calls the person a flake a few times and then drops it until a lot later in the live stream. Right now, I wanted to take a look at some more of Tammy ranting, basically. It's like more of her ranting about her family, and I wanted to include this because we really don't get to see glimpses into Tammy Hall's family life a lot. But seeing the way that she reacts to her family simply not wanting anything to do with her bullshit speaks volumes, you know what I mean? It really shows how fucking crazy she is. She blames everything on jealousy. Would you really be jealous of Tammy Hall's situation? Put yourself in her family's shoes, right? Her kid's shoes, her father's shoes. Think about it. Would you be jealous of the situation that Tammy Hall is in? I really don't see anybody being jealous of her. There's no aspect, not to be a dick, but I mean, it's very obvious that there's no aspect that anybody would be jealous of involving Tammy Hall's life. She has it pretty horrible.
These motherfuckers. Yeah, I tell you what. They're flakes. When they don't care about other humans, there's something wrong with you. There's something mentally fucking wrong. But Devin and them can keep up trying their shit. Keep stirring up your shit, Devin. Keep on, Devin, you little jealous bitch. You know jealousy makes you look ugly. You look like a Captain Kangaroo in that video. You look just like Captain fucking Kangaroo. You do. Sabrina, you're so fucking funny. You're ruthless. She's ruthless, but not toothless. You got a mind like me, man. You do. I don't know. That was about 4 years ago when I first started seeing them. They were all around Carthage. There's something bad. There's something big going to happen there. That's why I'm not there. Yeah, something big's going to happen to Jasper. God's coming for him. And all that lying and all that devil-worshipping bullshit, God's coming for him. So, Devin, you keep running to the sheriffs. Run wherever you want to, little girl. But you're not going to get away with your shit. It's called harassment, little girl. You jealous little whore. That's what's wrong with her. They're jealous, and it's stupid. You know, they've always been, and I was too stupid to see it. They've treated me like this my whole life. But I was too stupid to see it because I loved them. I love them. They're my family. They didn't love me. They done stuff behind my back and thought it was funny. Well, it's not funny no more, and I'm over it. Your shit stops now. They've got no more control over me. You're fucking weird. They're just weird. They're just weird. Very weird. I asked my dad what the fuck was going on. I asked him in a text. I didn't get a reply. I want to know how my son is, and he's not at the hospital they said he was at, so I don't know what to do. I'm pissed. My kids has been through a lot. Now I know that they're doing this fucking satanic bullshit. Spells and that shit. Joanne, God is coming for you, you sawed-off lady. God is coming for you, lady.
Honestly, I've already said enough about Tammy Hull and her family. You already get it. She was a horrible person to her family. She literally was just telling a story the other day about how her son told her mother, his grandma, that she was mistreating him. And then the grandma went over to confront her. So she bit her nose. Like, that isn't what sane people do. That's probably pretty scarring to that kid that he saw his mom bite his grandma's nose, or attempt to bite his grandma's nose off. I don't know to the extent to which she took it, but it sounds like it was pretty bad considering she got jail time for it. But then Tammy starts to talk about Christmas. She starts to talk about how she doesn't like Christmas and how, Jesus wasn't even born on Christmas Day, all this bullshit, right? And I was there when this was all going down. I was literally watching this take place. I was seeing the comments. And she's literally just responding to somebody that was asking her how she's going to celebrate Christmas. Instead of simply just saying, she doesn't celebrate Christmas and leaving it at that, she makes it this big ordeal where she has to explain that everybody who celebrates Christmas is a horrible person and they're basically all going to pass away due to the fact that they celebrate Christmas. Like, God is going to spite them on some weirdo shit, right? You know how many people celebrate Christmas? A lot of Christians celebrate Christmas, you know what I mean? A lot of people that believe in God celebrate Christmas. That go to church celebrate Christmas. A majority of people do, you know what I mean? There's also other holidays during this season that people celebrate. It's not just Christmas, but you get what I mean, right? Like, as far as the Christian religion goes, Christmas is a big thing in that sector, right? So I think if you just went into a church and told them that, they would look at you like you were crazy, you know what I mean? A lot of people take Christmas very serious and they see it as a time of worship. They don't just see it as a holiday. But even if they do just see it as a holiday, it isn't this big deal, right? Like, you don't have to make it a big deal either way. Like, if people celebrate Christmas because their religion, then that's cool. If they celebrate Christmas because they like Christmas, that's cool too. You don't got to sit here and act like they're going to get some kind of punishment from God due to the fact that they're celebrating Christmas. I mean, you are right that Christmas isn't the day that Jesus was born and that Christmas isn't, like the day of Christmas at least isn't directly referenced in the Bible. But still, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? That's not the point of the holiday. The point of the holiday has become much bigger than that. And it's one thing if you don't want to go into the consumerism, right? If you don't want to feed into that, that's cool, right? More power to you. But to just write off everybody who celebrates Christmas is wild. I guess that's what makes her a lolcow, right?
So fucking funny. I mean, that's stupid. That's stupid. Ludicrous. Ludicrous. To smear somebody's name like this over just jealousy is fucking ugly. Makes themselves look bad. That's what my daughter said. It just makes her look bad. Well, it embarrasses me for them. It embarrasses me to death for them. I don't do Christmas. I don't believe in Christmas. They're liars. Christmas ain't nothing to do with the Lord's birthday. The Lord's birthday is not even in December. Okay? The Lord's birthday ain't even in December. So how could that be Christmas? How could that be the birth of the Christ? See, they don't even match their shit up to even make it accurate. See? At least do your dates right, freaks. They're freaks. They're nothing but grass in the wind. God's gonna just, all of them. They're gonna find people dead around these false idols and all this bullshit. Yeah, there are. Then they'll know. Yeah. See, it's just like the things in the sky. Let's just let them show them. Remember? The heavens rule. The heavens rule. Not these slithering snakes.
Honestly, there's so many parallels between Tammy and the Grinch, it's crazy. Like her whole demeanor, the way that she acts, the things that she says, down to the part where she talks about how she hates Christmas, right? And then you got how she looks exactly like Jim Carrey, you know what I mean? When she does certain faces, her whole facial structure just looks as if it can manipulate like Play-Doh, right? Like you can like pinch it apart basically, you know what I mean, and manipulate it any way you want. She looks a lot like Jim Carrey in that sense, you know what I mean? So she definitely gives off Grinch vibes for sure. It's how Tammy Hull stole Christmas, you know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. But all jokes aside, on a very serious note, it seems like her son got into a bad accident. And instead of stressing out about her son being in this accident, she seems more worried about a bunch of random shit, you know what I mean? She seems more worried about the trolls getting her a hotel room. She seems more worried about Christmas. She seems more worried about Hemlock, right? Like shit that don't matter, right? Shit that don't matter in this moment, she seems to want to be talking about. When in reality, she should be worrying about her son. If she really did want to get a hold of him, she should be trying to call his phone. She should be asking people for his number so she can at least text him or, you know, text somebody close to him. But instead, she's sitting here on live stream, you know, doing her same old begging and shit, doing her same old freaking out, you know what I mean? Like spurging out over dumb shit. I just don't get it. What's the point of going on live stream if every single time you go live, you just read the comments and complain? All these lolcows do this shit. Nova, Tofiachu, Tammy, like all these lolcows will go on live stream just so they can read comments, like hate comments about themselves, and respond to it the whole stream. It doesn't seem like fun at all. But yet, if you ask them, they'd say that it was their passion. They'd say that they'd want to do it for the rest of their life, that it's their job, right? But this shit doesn't seem like it's very healthy for them. It seems like it's just a reason for them to spurg out and get mad. I don't get the fun in it. Like when I make a YouTube video, I have fun. When I'm watching these videos, I enjoy it. When I edit a video, I enjoy it. I mean, there might be some topics that get me a little bit angry, but when it's all set and done and the video's over with, I'm just gonna go and chill, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna really let it get to me that much. Even while I'm recording, I try not to let it get to me, you know? I don't yell, I don't scream, I don't get too angry. I just do my thing and give my points. But these lolcows seem to get really mad and they want to get worked up, you know what I mean? It's almost like they're looking for it. But besides all that, one of the major things that came out of this live stream was the revelation that Tammy's motel wasn't really paid for. This really aggravates her, this irks her, you know, she starts freaking out. And she basically says that everybody who doubted that person was right and she was wrong. She says that she wasn't trolled though because she never rode anywhere. She says she never drove anywhere, so therefore there's no skin off her back. Yet it does seem to make her angry, so it seemed like they did their job. Like either way, they did what they wanted to do, right? The intended purpose was served. They made you angry and they got you worked up on live stream. They got you to talk about them multiple times, right? So you should have never took the bait in the first place if you were really smart. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to greed. It all comes down to wanting free handouts. And that's what Tammy doesn't notice with her begging. She's doing one of the 7 deadly sins, right? She's being very greedy when she begs for this money, right? She's scamming people online, basically. That's what people call her. They call her Scammy Tammy. She gets on live stream and she scams these people for money. She tries to act innocent, you know, like she's this cool person, like she believes in God, like she's nice. And then when people actually watch her live streams and listen, they realize that she's a bad person. Even to the people that try to support her, she'll snap at them and act as though they said something, you know, irrational, or they said something that was ignorant, or they said something that was, you know, somehow rude towards her. And she tries to give them like a lecture on why what they said wasn't right. And at the end of the day, it's like these are people that support you and what they said wasn't a big deal. They're asking you, are you okay? They're asking you, do you celebrate Christmas? They're asking you simple things and you're taking it and you're blowing it out of proportion, right? When you should just simply reply and leave it at that. But every single thing has to work you up. At the end of the day, you're paying someone with numerous addictions, right? Addictions to a bunch of bullshit that you don't even know about. Somebody who has been disowned by their family for obviously valid reasons, right? You're paying somebody that doesn't deserve to be paid simply because they're saying they believe in God. When in reality, if God was to be there face to face with Tammy, he would tell her that what she's doing isn't right. God doesn't preach that you should, you know, look for retribution, that you should try to spite people. That's not what God is about. God is about forgiveness. And Tammy will say this, that God is about forgiveness and how he forgave her. But yet, she won't forgive other people or give anybody else the benefit of the doubt. Everything that goes past her beliefs, right? Her personal beliefs somehow falls into line with Christianity and God, right? If she doesn't like Christmas, then everybody who likes Christmas is instantly not going to heaven and God's going to spite them. That's it. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
And Sabrina, you was right. You was right. That lady's a lying bitch about the room. She just made a reservation. That's all she done was make the reservation. She thinks she's a sneaky, snide old bitch. She's not. You can't fuck with me, bitch. I'm smarter than your average fucking bear. I'm smarter than your average bear, yo. Yes, you are. You're a bitch. Till you got somebody a room and you're lying through your fucking fat fucking face teeth. You jealous old bitch. If I'd have drove over there, I'd have been madder than fuck. Who's Carrie? I must have done half. I blocked a few of them. I did. I called them and asked if it was the thing was paid for. If it was just a reservation or if it was paid for. She said it wasn't paid for. So they said it wasn't paid for. It was just a reservation. So she didn't pay $129. She's a lying ass fucking bitch. Fucking whore. Nasty fucking whore. 59 years old, still being a fucking nasty tart old bitch. No, I deleted them. She's not at the top. I blocked her. I mean, she's not up there. That was a low blow. That was a... So Sabrina was right. She had a gut feeling, and Sabrina was right. So Sabrina apologized to this bitch and didn't owe her an apology. Because Sabrina's gut was right. She was a bitch. A bitch. Something told me to call. I got God whispering in my ear all the time, you know.
Anyway, y'all, that's all I have for Tammy Hull. In these recent couple of days, she's been going off. I think she's just going to keep getting more and more insane, you know what I mean? She's going to become a top tier lolcow in a while. I've been saying that. Mark my words, folks. Tammy Hull is going to be up there because she's really easy to aggravate. She's constantly going on live stream, so there's always content flooding. When she yells, people pay attention. When she screams, when she yells, when she's got something to say, people pay attention. Now, it might not be the way that she wants them to, right? But, you know, these people are still listening to her. They'll join her live stream and they'll sit there while she yells and screams about the government and how her family's fucking her over. It's gotten to a point where hopefully people see what I've been seeing, which is the fact that she's not a good person, that she likes to scam people out of money, that her family obviously thinks she's horrible, and instead of worrying about her kid, she pretends she's worrying about her son, and in reality, she's more worked up about other shit, you know what I mean? She's more worried about this hotel room, this potential motel room, than her son that's in the hospital. She seems a lot more upset about those things than that. She talks about it briefly in the beginning. I think she calls him one time. But besides that, she didn't really talk about him. She didn't seem that upset about him. She didn't even cry or shed a tear. But she'll sit in her car and cry about the government and how they're mistreating her. It's insane. You know what I mean? You're not even worried about your own son, but you're worried about the government that isn't even really affecting you. You know what I mean? None of this shit is affecting you. And yet you're angry about it. You're mad about the hemlock. You're mad about the government. You're mad about, you know, Don Myers, your ex. I don't understand it. You should probably get offline and worry about, you know, coming in contact with your family again. That should probably be what you're worrying about, but you aren't worrying about that. You're worrying about all this random shit online, which proves that you're a lolcow. You get easily worked up and then people clip it and laugh at you. It's insane how the cycle works. A lot of people doubted me when I first showed them Tammy Hull, but I'm telling you, she's definitely going to be a hot commodity here pretty soon because she's full of content. And with that being said, folks, I'm out of here. That's all for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All that helps out in the algorithm. If you watched all the way to the end, you're the best. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.